You've built infrastructure for every part of your business, CRM, project management, financial systems, but you've neglected the most critical infrastructure of all, your mind. You think mindfulness is self-care when it's actually the cognitive foundation that determines whether you lead with clarity or chaos. Why is mental infrastructure the only system you're skipping? Executive performance research reveals that leaders who practice daily mindfulness show 32% better decision-making under pressure, 53% improved emotional regulation, and 41% higher strategic thinking capability compared to those who don't. Yet only 12% of entrepreneurs have a constant mindfulness practice. You're operating a complex business with an untrained mind, believing every thought it generates and wondering why leadership feels so reactive and chaotic. This infrastructure gap is creating a systematic performance defects across your entire organization. When you lack metacognition, the ability to observe your thoughts as mental events rather than facts, you make reactive decisions that look like strategy but are actually just anxiety management. When you're fused with your thoughts instead of observing them, every business challenge triggers fight or flight responses that cloud judgment. When you have no space between trigger and response, you lead from emotion instead of intention. The ROI of mental infrastructure is measured better decision-making, clearer communications, more strategic thinking, improved stress resilience. 10 minutes, just 10 minutes of daily mindfulness practice builds the neural pathways for cognitive diffusion, the ability to unhook from unhelpful thought patterns in real time. This isn't about becoming calm. It's about developing the observing capability that lets you notice, I'm having that thought that this will fail, without letting that thought hijack your strategy. While you're skipping this practice, it's nice to have. Leaders outperforming you are treating it as a critical infrastructure. They're building the cognitive foundation that makes responsive leadership possible while you're trapped in reactive patterns. The mental infrastructure gap isn't a soft skill deficiency. It's a competitive disadvantage with hard business costs, poor decision, stressed teams, missed opportunities, reactive culture, and it persists until you build the proactive you've been dismissing. I called a friend of mine, and he was actually one of the senior executives at Hewlett-Packard at the time. And his wife answered, and I asked who there. He said, no, he's not. He's right in his meditation training. And if you ever knew this gentleman, the words, he's right in this meditation training, would raise an eyebrow at minimum. If not, have a wonderful conversation and a great way to rib it. But what he understood was that if he wanted to continue to expand his abilities, and he was running a major part of Hewlett-Packard at the time, if he wanted to be able to do better, to be more effective, to be more focused, he needed to exercise his mind as much as he exercised his body. And to be honest, I understand that. I've had a meditative process that I've used honestly off and on for many years. And one of those times I had a client who was not doing well. The business was doing fine, and they put this person in this position, and they pulled me aside and just, you really need to help this person. They're really on a plan, and if they don't do this well, they're not going to be around. Not a great position for me to be in, especially as someone managing a large project. But what was really interesting was every time I had to give her some information, she would immediately react harshly. She would use profanity even at some points. And before my practice, I would be very much reactive as well. But interestingly enough, as I went deeper and deeper into a meditative practice, I got better at just going, okay, that's not me here, and that's okay. And I kind of saw myself being able to absorb that kind of ferocity without actually taking it personally, which was a challenge for me in the beginning. So what I learned was being able to train my mind in that way gave me the ability to really create something and be able to deal with the emotional dysregulation of someone else. Now, we're not talking about sitting on a mountain in robes for weeks and weeks and days. We're talking about 5, 10 minutes especially in the morning. And when the pressure gets up and the time seems to compress, this is the time that you need to start spending more time with yourself, compressing that information, making sure that it works well for you. Now, there's lots of apps that have this. There's lots of programs and things like that. There are many apps on the App Store. If you go and just type in meditation, lots of them will come up. There's a couple of them free. There's some big major ones that will actually give you 10 days of free coaching to get you into it. But if you can start a practice just to spend 10 minutes a day focusing on your mind, you can be amazed at A, how many things run through it, and B, after a while, it is part of your favorite time to take a moment, to calm down, to be quiet. And all of a sudden, people will notice a difference, and you will too. You'll notice that you'll be able to deal with issues, see things. When issues pop up, when challenges created, we are able to deal with it better because our mind has a chance to be exercised and relaxed and is not all over the place. For some of us, that's a constant battle. And being able to train your mind and create a moment of quiet, especially in the morning, to allow yourself to get up right. What's interesting is I increase that practice as the pressure grows. When we're about to do a book launch or something like that, my time, my mental gym time and my physical gym time actually increase. I don't actually have the time to do it, but I have the need to do it. And I know that I am in a pressure situation, and the higher the pressure situation, the lower the amount of time I have to do something. But the more important it is to train your mind and body, to give them everything you can get to make sure that there's absolutely everything that goes well for you. So take that time and explore. It doesn't have to be a lot of time. And one of the best times I've found is waking up in the morning and doing it right then. Taking 10 minutes as you wake up and get going. It's nice. I sit up in bed, it's warm. I put a set of headphones on so I don't disturb anyone else. And I do my quick meditation, my 10 minutes. And then I get the rest of my day. And I find that I'll be better at the rest of my day. I'm waking up, but I'm waking up with some intention. I'm going in and getting my morning routine going. And by the time I hit the desk, I'm already ready to go. And I've already thought about things that may or may not have been thinking about if I got distracted by other things. Try that out. Try spending 10 minutes a day in meditation. Maybe it's at lunch in a quiet place. I find that noise canceling headsets and a quick app is one of the best ways of doing it. Now, we'll have favorite apps that we use, and I'm sure there are people in here that have favorites. So if you have a favorite app or you have a favorite process that you use, and I'm not wed to a specific type of meditation, just going out and doing it. It says, 10,000 steps a day, you just got to start walking. That's a good step. You'll find your favorite type of meditation. I like guided meditations. It makes sure that I'm right on track. I like to be reminded that my thoughts come in. Sometimes I get very good ideas while I'm meditating. Not always the best way to do meditation, but sometimes very effective. So if you have a favorite app or a favorite way of meditation, put it in the comments below. Let's share it with others, and let's keep this conversation going. I look forward to seeing your comments.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode on The Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained.